feel like I'm here with my agent when I look at him with that on.
There you go.
Inscrutable, man. I'm talking to you. I'm looking. I can't figure out why you happy, you mad, am I good, am I bad?
I read nothing.
And that is a beautiful. By the way, it's also a beautiful bandana.
Oh, thank you.
You don't see many brown bandanas. I got red ones and green. I actually have green ones.
Yeah.
It's a fucking nice looking bandana.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Under the Street Lamp podcast with the Nela fellas. This is my co-host, Mr. D.B. Cooper. I'm Adam Mendoza, and today we have our special guest, Mr. MC Gainey.
Also known as Miguelito in Jalisco State.
Woo!
Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be on with Mr. Cooper. I wish I knew where you put that money, baby. I know you dropped it somewhere in Oregon or Washington or somewhere, right?
There you go. Yeah, I had to use this for, to keep me warm from time to time. But yeah, we still have some left.
Yeah, but you got compliments on your bandana, man. I'm gonna mask up just so I can get a compliment.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a bitchin' mask. Yeah, and I want to say for a man that stole $3 million in a plane hijacking 46 years ago, you look like you're still in good shape.
All jokes aside, you do look pretty good.
Oh,
From what I can see, yeah.
I'll drink to that.
You see what I'm close. Yeah, I got you.
But anyway, so it's good. I appreciate you coming through for the podcast. And it's funny, sometimes when we're doing a cast, sometimes a lot of the good conversation is behind the camera, and you had me all juiced up earlier. So we were talking about, is it okay for people that want to have well, let's be honest, we're talking about people that feel freer with hanging out with their wang out. If they want to do their own thing and have their own community, what's your opinion? Do you think it's okay for them to have their own little...
Absolutely. I have to admit, I feel like I should, what the Supreme Court they do when they exclude themselves from the coast. I feel like I shouldn't actually weigh in on this as a judgment because I was actually the naked man in Sideways. And my cock has had more camera time than 6 or 8 actors I know.
Sideways?
Yeah, Sideways. I was the naked man in Sideways. and when, it's one of those things where you don't have to ask, wait, were you naked in that shot? No, dude, the shot was my cock. It's my big fat belly, my flaccid fucking, it had to be flaccid. I thought it should be at least hard, but no, it couldn't even be heavy,
Well, again, the question is, did it have its own credits? That's what I want to know.
No.
Okay.
No,
That's
that's Miguel and Miguelito.
Miguelito. There we go. Okay.
That's an under 5 part. Yeah, but he does have his own agent, and fans clearly of it.
Right.
But so I believe noodle frontity, as Archie Bunker said, that is in public should be allowed, as long as nobody's offended. But when somebody's offended, it's like, and I am quite often offended when I see some guy with a horse cock hanging down. I was like, oh, come on, man. And I just watched a Pamela and Tommy Lee movie, man, and they got a scene in there where they have his fake cock, right? But they're controlling it with remote controls and computers so he can move around. And he's having a conversation with it. He's talking to his cock and it's talking back to him. But it's like it's waving and it's like looking at him and talking to him. It's like a thing. It's like and they have people off camera with a computer saying, and the director's probably saying, now tilt it up toward the light a little bit, kind of like they did here. Turn the light down. Looks a little too olive green. Whatever. But
drop your chin.
They're doing all this for a rubber dick. It's not even
but that fucked me up because then my wife saw that and she was like, "Can you do that?" I'm like, "Fuck, no, I can't." Shit.
Do what, man? Get that dick? No. I tried to explain to my wife. It's funny you bring that up. When we were watching, I said, this is why men do not ever have a man that's a real man that doesn't have a nickname for his dick.
Yeah.
He may not tell you what it is, you may nobody may know, but he's got a nickname. And she said, well, why is that? I said, well, because as a man, I can tell you, we don't like the idea of a perfect, complete stranger making so many decisions for us. So years of my life, my cock was in charge of where I'm drinking tonight, or who I'm drinking with.
I can't treat him like a stranger.
I got $600 worth of cocaine. Who's going to have some of it? Who's going to have some of it, Willie? Well, I'm leaving it there. Why don't you give some to that beautiful bartender over there? See, all right, baby, here, come here, dog. Let's start laying it out. So you don't want to have some stranger. You got to have a name. You know what I mean? So I gave mine a name at an early age, man. Mine is named Dick Johnson.
Dick Johnson, you got a first and a last.
Oh, Dick Johnson. Oh, you obviously didn't see Sideways. I got a dick that's in the movies. I got a dick that people get mad about. They wrote letters to the editor about that shit. They have. Now I've only been told this by the who the freaks are that know all this shit.
Sure.
I don't know how to operate any of this shit.
Well, now I know it.
Yeah. Now, but I've heard that there's people out there writing letters and talking about it, and it's just another one. Now there's a lot of cocks in the movies,
Right.
But I still contend mine was the funniest. I don't know if you've ever seen Sideways, The scene is the hero, one of the heroes of the movies, has been off cheating on his soon-to-be wife, and he went home with a waitress, and he's banging her, and the husband comes home, and he has got to run out the window and get back naked, and he's left his wallet with his wedding rings, his soon-to-be wedding rings. He's getting married, left them there, and so he's got to. His buddy takes him back to the house, and it's like all dark and quiet, and he's got to go in and get it, but he won't do it. So he talks to his buddy, Paul Giamatti in this case.
Oh yeah.
Thomas Hayden Church, Paul Giamatti, talks to him to go in and go in. So as he's sneaking in to get his buddy's wallet, he hears this, oh, you're a bad bitch, smack, 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 you're a bad bitch. And then you see my ass coming in. It's a shot of George Bush on the TV screen with my ass coming in like this. And that's how this part was pitched to me by the director. He said, seriously, man, he said, you better talk to your people about this because it's going to be your ass and George Bush's face.
In and out of frame.
And I said, well, I don't know if my agents have ever heard of George Bush, but they've seen my ass a lot. I can tell you that right now because they represent me. So you know, and then I run out chasing him, and he's getting in the car like this. He's just dropping in the car, and I hit the side window. When my dick hits it first, then my belly. Bada bam! And I was like, "You motherfucker!" They're screaming, screaming. They're driving away. I'm running down the street chasing them. So you know, I'm not the only dick in the movie business, and
that's a famous one. You had
I'm
letters.
the funniest. There's no dick that got more laughs that was bigger than 2 inches.
Dick Johnson.
Dick Johnson.
DB, are you comfortable talking about your nickname for your little homie?
Oh hell yeah! His name is Cooper the Scooper. I mean, yeah, there we go. Yeah, good.
Cooper the Scooper.
Yeah.
Cooper the Scooper.
Yeah, how about yours?
That's funny because that was like my third choice on my
there we
list.
go. Okay.
I passed on that. Yeah. And yours?
This one's sad because I don't even think the wifey knows this shit. But
Well, just break it.
Yeah, man.
CNN. Breaking news is going across. Breaking news. A man Payne confesses his wife doesn't even know the name of his member.
Hey,
what is that name?
We would lose on that shit. So when I was like 14, 15, the first time I measured him was when I named him, and I named him the captain. It's the captain.
Dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'll
dude.
work.
Seriously. I know a song about the captain, and it's perfect for this. Oh my God! You know that song? You be the captain, I'll be no one. It's a song.
I was thinking about Captain.
No,
Captain, my
no.
Captain.
Well, later on when we have our instruments, excuse the expression.
play?
I play a little bit.
All
I know a few chords.
Yeah, all right.
And we'll play it, and you'll hear it. It's a fucking great song. They used it on one episode of The Sopranos. And it's the first time I heard it, and I was like, oh, I had to track it down. Who is that? Who is that singing? Who is that? And you get to track it down, and so I learned it. So, yeah, the captain, huh?
The captain, yeah. You know, I found love with quite
You
a
were
few
15.
songs.
Well, I would hope that by now he's fucking a general by now.
Has he been promoted? I hope so, sir.
For service above and beyond the call of duty. Once your wife finds out, he might be a private again. Oh, what about it, DB?
Yeah.
Private. Yeah,
Possibly. Possibly.
Absolutely. Entirely possible.
Man.
But anyway, before we got funny about it, we were talking about something really serious. Should you be free in a modern America to walk around with your dick hanging out? And that's a symbolic argument for us, because if you can do that, then you can come in without a mask, or you can have a cigarette in your hand while you're going to set. And all of this is based on going into 7-Eleven for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why. We saw 7-Eleven across the street while we were talking about it.
It worked.
It works. It does. And your idea was what now?
Well, I was just thinking that I know that maybe some people find, let's say, smoking a cigarette offensive, and then, you know, here in California they outlawed it in bars. And my argument was, or my suggestion is that it's not okay to do that, because you have to allow people that want to smoke in bars, like we talked about. If someone doesn't want to obey wearing a mask when you go into 7-Eleven, well, tough titty, said the kitty, because 7-Eleven is a private business, so they can do that for their safety, for the safety of their employees and their other customers. So the counter, or what I was thinking was, well, yes, that's true, but if other people that don't feel that way, if they want to go to another bar where you can smoke cigarettes, I think that should be allowed, and then we just let the citizens vote with their dollars. And then if we all find out, hey man, yeah, I know Greg that goes over to that bar where they smoke cigarettes, man, he's dead 5 years later. After a while, nobody
Back
wants
when
to
I
go
was
to
a
that bar.
cigarette smoker, I would have been there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Seriously, they said, in fact, I did in New York when they outlawed it back in the 80s.
Oh, shit.
There would be bars you knew where you could go
In the
smoke.
80s, that early in New
Yeah,
York?
there were a lot of them. I don't know when they passed the law, but it started in the 80s. A lot of bars said no
That was
smoking, no
when you see
smoking.
it
People
springing.
moved out on the street. When they moved out on the street, that started crimping my cocaine thing, because that's where I would
Come
go.
on, now.
I go out to do
Respect
my life.
the
Now all of a
man's
sudden,
head.
all these fucking people are standing out there smoking. What the fuck is that about? You can't smoke in there. So what I did when they'd all come out to smoke, I'd go in and lay it out on the board. They'd come by, how you doing? That's a pretty good time without stalling you.
No, I love that. Man, I need a cigarette. Everybody gets up here.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, okay. So, we know that the 7-Eleven can do whatever they want to do, that they can get away with.
Right.
We're just, by the way, mentioning them as just another corporation. It could be
Yeah.
Winsel's Donuts.
Absolutely.
It could be Don's Dildos Incorporated. I don't know if you've ever been there. They got a new 2 or 3 new.
I got a membership card.
I'm a VIP man.
Yeah, one more punch and I get a free something
I
else.
saw Mr. Cooper in there.
I was
one
there.
day.
I was there. I'm a what do you call it? The usual, person that gets there. You know?
he patronized them quite often.
Yeah, for sure.
You never know when a good dildo's going to come in handy. You know what I'm
Especially
saying?
after shows like, Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee, right? You might need one. You
Right,
know.
Exactly.
Right, just keep the lights off and do the old switch. Be like, no, that's me, babe.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like I use mine whenever I go in one of the 7-Elevens where you can have your cock out. I don't want to think I'm a square, so I see that the dildo hang out. So I walk in, so I feel like I'm not. Mine's a professional. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
You don't want to
there's people
intimidate.
there's people that you meet to wrestle with you in the parking lot somewhere to see who's the baddest. Yeah. But if you're a professional wrestler, you ain't gonna get down and roll
Right,
around in the
come on.
fucking parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, my cock ain't gonna just make a public appearance.
Like, mine has its own
Well, it has to
fan
be
mail.
presentable, right? I mean, it's trimmed. I mean, you want to go with the, with the actual sideburns or with the fro. I mean, it depends on if you want to shave it off. It has to be
sideburns?
presentable.
Yeah,
Hey, you never know.
Yeah,
Hey.
and see, if you ever went public, your name would be perfect because you'd be scooping up the change you can
There
make. By
you
there
go.
you go.
There you go.
We scoopers, yeah.
I think you added the
no
pooper.
pooper in that.
Yeah, the
No
pooper.
pooper.
Well, it might.
Sometimes
You never know.
you-
If the night's right, you never know.
That's
Some tells me it wouldn't
That's
bother
a
me.
drawback now. I see why you're wearing the mask now. That's a drawback there. Because somehow in our world, scooper and pooper have gone. They got married somewhere. How is it? Don't we have any other thing as scooper?
It's those damn
There's not
Cadbury
another
commercials.
scooper other than the pooper scooper. Oh my
Right.
god! And then I don't even
Ice cream scooper, but it's such
that's
a
scoop.
fast
It's a
concept.
scoop. That's
I like a pooper scooper from time to time, so I don't know. I have no problem with that.
Hey,
For sure.
listen, hey,
See, now shouldn't certain
it's
people
America,
enjoy
man.
it?
You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Sometimes you gotta
make
pay extra
sure
for
you're
that.
in the right 7-Eleven. is
Right,
what I'm
Right,
saying.
right.
Don't want to go where I buy my dope for my 6-year-old daughter.
Oh my god.
Oh, was that too soon? Too soon? I'm sorry.
It's called a joke, people.
I don't have a daughter. I believe me.
Yeah, so riddle me that
If-
shit.
I'm 75 years old. If I had a daughter, she'd be about 60 by now, so she'd be old enough to handle it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I think you have a birthday that just passed, right? So happy belated birthday.
Thank you
Sure.
very much,
Yeah,
brother. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah,
yeah.
As I like to say, I was 73 3 weeks ago.
There we go.
Because I'm 74 now.
There you go.
But 3 weeks ago, I was 73. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, like when you're a kid, you say I'm 7.5,
Exactly.
and now you're like, no, I'm just 3 weeks away from 73.
I have transcended the meaning of any of that because in here I'm like 9. You know, I'll go with 12. What'd you say? You named the captain?
About
12?
14, 15.
About 4, yeah.
Yeah.
About that age, yeah.
Well,
Well, I gotta know now. I mean, I have to know. I mean, what did you
Right.
use to measure it? That's what I want to know. Was it a ruler?
no,
Was
it was
it
a measuring tape.
measuring tape?
it was a measuring tape. Yeah.
Was it from the trunk or was it from the actual bottom? I mean, how did you?
I went ahead and I did first from the top, from where I could see.
And then you didn't like the results, so you had to go to the back.
No, but then I just realized, like, to be fair to everybody, I was like, there's a lot more there.
Got it,
than
got it.
from the bottom,
Okay.
I'm
I
so
measured the
glad to
bottom.
hear that because you're a young man, and I was afraid when growing up that by the time I got to be my age that all young men like you would all be metric. But I'm just motherfucker still using inches over here, you know what I'm saying? So fuck you, UK, and all your fucking grams. No, not grams. We'll do metric sometime, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know,
Some grams are
you're still using it.
Hey,
No
but
centimeters,
But
man.
you're 100% right. These nails had never been painted. I mean, a clear coat once or twice when I get it out of here, but no.
When I'd broken one, yeah.
Yeah, had to, fix it. That's okay, right?
Man, let an angel of silence have a sip. What's the matter, Coop? You can't drink. You can't.
I can't drink. You have a straw.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that.
Wait, nobody wants to drink after. That was like a
Oh,
big
yeah, come on,
commercial.
go ahead, take a sip.
The way he mildly just like.
You know, to go ahead and do this. You know?
Oh, man. Oh, that's right. Oh,
That's it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate
Like a
it.
gentleman over
You know what?
here.
Hey,
Wait,
you can tell that he actually done coke before because he knows how to cover people. You know what I mean? So
I've been around it.
I
I was around.
I can appreciate that.
I didn't like it, but I did like the smell of it.
Isn't that weird how that can happen? Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
man. So,
So where did we left our cocks at? So basically what this is about is the important thing that's happening in our world is the Super Bowl's coming, and there are a lot of people going to want to go out to the Super Bowl.
This is true.
And now they're saying there's going to be a trucker protest mandate, COVID mandate protest like the one at the border.
Right. Yeah.
And what the fuck would happen if about 30,000 cholos go to the fucking game, baby, and they're all trying to get out to the fucking game, and there's a fucking bunch of trucks bumper to bumper in front of them?
Yeah,
And you're going to say,
man.
no, I wish I could have seen the Super Bowl, and you're going to say, let some air out them fucking tires.
yeah, football fans, they get riled up, especially around the season. But you just brought up a really good point, because I remember when the protests were going off here in LA for different reasons, and things were kicking off, and I saw like whole streets like on Hollywood being shut off, right? Then I see this one Lincoln Town car, right? On D's. This is the late, we're in 2020, and this was like, on some D's in a town car, deep, everybody shaved heads, right? And I just remember everybody's like, no one shall pass, wham, like, I don't mean to shit on their cause, because it's probably a good cause, I don't know, but they're, won't let nobody go by, and these guys just pull up, and you just see no shouting, no anger.
Yeah.
The first driver just leaned out the window. I don't know what he said, but I can guess. And he just leans out. He says, "Want." Leans back in the car. The sea parted, like Moses parted the Red Sea. He drove through and closed it back up, and everybody else had
No
to stop.
harm, no foul on that, baby.
So that-
I can tell you what he told me. He said, I want anybody that's in a hurry to be assuming room temperature to stand in front of me when I come through.
Yeah. You want to be room temperature in a hurry?
You'll be achieving room temperature real fucking quick. Yeah, it's amazing the kind of respect you can get when people recognize what you're saying.
Yeah, because you're showing, like, basically, what it showed to me is that they will stop who they can stop.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people that are unstoppable.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Now, there is one thing. If they pull this truck thing around the Raiders games when the Raiders used to be here, which had nothing to do with the Super Bowl, by the fucking way, because they were the fucking Raiders. Yeah. If you try to stop the fucking Raider crowd, I can tell you now,
There's gonna be some issues.
You would have been driven away from your truck by an angry mob, chased somewhere and mutilated, and your truck would have been up for sale or being cut up in pieces about 3 miles away before you assumed room temperature.
They would definitely need the
Listen,
pooper scooper at that point.
The pooper scooper
shall be
needed. Yeah.
You can stop the Super Bowl, but don't fuck with the Raiders versus Cleveland. Raiders versus
That's
Denver.
unacceptable.
No, motherfucker. Raiders versus Denver. Let's say that would have been like 1985 or 86 or something like that. Yeah.
That's
Oh
cool.
man. Yeah.
Well,
Don't do that.
for the truckers, though, I think just as a thought, wouldn't that kind of be like a show of good faith or of general brotherliness in North America if they just said, "Hey, it's Super Bowl. Come on, we can get in the way of Super Bowl, please."
Yeah.
And then yes, we have our thing going. We're still, but it would seem un-American or un-Canadian to not let people.
The Canadians, man, I can't believe the Canadians are doing this. The nicest fucking people in the world are Canadians, man. The most polite fucking people ever. I spent a lot of time up there. And,
Sure.
and by the way, one thing that's great as an actor working there, they don't drug test the Teamsters in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Show a little respect,
Yeah.
right? I like that.
America, you working in a movie in America, man. That's fucking Teamsters
Oh, that's
don't know. They don't know. Canada, they're like, oh yeah, well, how much are you looking for? Well, I don't know. Is it metric? Yeah, no, fuck you. I don't do that. No. Yeah, no, that
the
is
Teamsters had to look up back in the
good
day.
connection, But yeah, it does seem like they would say, okay, the Rams are in the Super Bowl. We can't fuck with this shit. I'm sorry, man. I'd hate the mandate. My whole life's fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm a truck driver. See, truck drivers got a case of the red ass anyway because
Case of red ass.
they do, because they've been getting fucked with by the government for a long time.
Sure enough.
Because there used to be a time you had a fucking truck. Somebody said take all these fucking TVs to LA. You get you ball and jack on down there way. But now you got to drive. You got to stop every so many hours. You have a series of books. You got to stop and sign the book. And if you sign the book here and then 6 hours later you're 500 miles over here, they know how fast you're driving, baby. So it's like
Yeah.
okay,
That's a good point. Okay.
you're already. Truck drivers already they got enough government already.
It's highly overregulated.
I'm gonna
100%.
agree.
It is. It is.
Man, look at what do you call it? The arc or the journey of the trucker. There was a time when truckers there was no unions, no Teamsters, nothing, right?
Wildcatters, yeah.
Yeah. So that happened. They were being abused, overworked. There was a lot of accidents, injuries, deaths, all these things. Okay, so now You fast
In
forward.
comes Jimmy Hoffa.
Yes, exactly. So now what comes in, and everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are they not supposed to know this is Jimmy Hoffa? Oh, can we get the producer? Can we?
We'll edit that. Don't worry about it.
I accidentally said Jimmy Hoffa. Oh, you can edit that out. Okay,
Yeah.
So anyway, so the truckers, they got a union.
Trucker and took over, and he changed all that.
I'm really sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah. So he changed all that, but the thing is, the narrative at the time for all the truckers was these are a bunch of lazy bums.
Yeah.
They want more money. How could they want more money?
Yeah.
And they're always using cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like fuck, right? Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I hate those people. I hate that shit.
But that was the thing,
Yeah,
and then
no,
you're-
they had trucker cocaine, little white pills
Oh, that's
across,
like,
little
yeah.
Mexican white.
I think they call it no dose.
They don't need no fucking cocaine. That takes too long. I take 5 or 6 of these. I'm good to go.
Yeah, you chew on the no dose like
Wait,
Skittles.
wait, let me know when we get to Kansas, baby. Here we go. Oh man.
Canada, I'm on my way.
I see you guys are young. Y'all might have missed the wonderful years of hitchhiking. But back in the 60s, the late 50s and early 60s, I was hitchhiking coast to coast in this country.
No shit.
And truckers would pick you up. They could still pick you up then, and they would pick you up. Yeah, no shit. But it's just when the interstate system was still kind of new. They built the interstate system in the late 50s and into the early 60s. And so you could get out on the interstate, you could get some fucking rides, snag some rides.
I gotta ask, what's the weirdest fucking interaction you had when you hitchhiked? Like what's the
The
one thing that
weirdest,
sticks
I'll
out?
tell you, this won't take long either. I was hitchhiking back from California to Mississippi, which is where I happened to be hanging my hat back then.
Oh, wow.
And got to the Mississippi River, and I caught a ride across the bridge, and the guy would drop me on the other side of the bridge. And these hippies, this would have been in about 1972.
Okay.
And these hippies, local hippies from Natchez, Mississippi, came along in their station wagon. There were about 6 of them, and they saw another hippie. And back in those days, if a hippie had a ride, you're gonna get the fucking ride.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they picked me up, and they were going camping a few miles up the road. They said, "We'll get you away from all this town. You on the house." And this wasn't on an interstate. This is on a 2-lane highway, federal highway 98, that runs from Natchez to Mobile.
Okay.
Actually, the song Natchez to Mobile, Highway 98. Okay, so when they went about 10 miles, they pulled into a little camp area where there were 3 or 4 little areas there with people setting up their stuff, and they had one. They pulled in. Get out, start putting the fucking tent up, and they weren't talking a whole lot, they didn't have a lot to say. But I really dug it because I was tired. I'd been hitchhiking all day long, and it had been rained on twice, and I was fucking tired.
And no luck till this.
And I was hungry, and I had a few joints in my kick, but I didn't have no money. And these guys had coolers with hot dogs and cold beer and shit, so I'm like,
It's cold,
motherfucker,
man.
hey, motherfucker, how y'all doing? Yeah.
Sir.
Let me tell you my life story. Yeah, all day fine. So they set up the tent and everything. You got there ready to build a fire and everything. And then I'm about to tell them I'm just making a sandwich, and I think we're about to have a good time. I'm rolling some joints, making a sandwich, and I look around, and they're all bringing out these loaves of bread, and they take them, and they're dumping the bread out of them like this. And they take the bag, and they take this fucking can, pry the top off this fucking can, and just dump it in the bag. And it was glue. And they all go, whoa, whoa.
They grew up in the hood.
In about 2 minutes, they're all on the fucking ground. They laughing, and I'm sitting there, I'm laughing too. I ain't snubbing at everything. I'm eating their sandwich, I'm eating their sandwiches, I'm drinking their beer. I'm putting my joints back in my fucking shirt pocket.
They don't need this.
They don't need this shit. They're all having a good fucking time. But when they do talk, they're talking all real loud and shit, and it's starting to get dark. It's about dark.
Okay.
We hear somebody coming up the little thing. So there's like several little campsites in this little hollow with different levels. You can't see them all, but you can hear these people are coming up, and they're like, I see them, and I go, yeah. And they say, we're having a service, around sundown. If y'all like to come on up, we're having a little service up here, And I say, okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll be there. And hopefully they couldn't see all these cats rolling around the ground.
Laid out. Yeah.
So we get there. So all right. So now about 15 or 20 minutes later, I hear a truck crank up over here, and about 20 minutes later, I can feel the man coming before I see him. I can feel the cop coming.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
gotcha.
like I can just tell by the difference
Your
in that
spikes,
motor.
yeah.
I can hear it coming because you're in a little hollow. I can't see where he's coming, but I can hear it.
You can hear it.
So,
It's probably-
so I reach over and pull the thing out of the tent, and I got in the fucking tent, rolled up in the fucking sleeping bag and the blankets and everything that had not been used, just been thrown in there, and it collapsed the tent on myself. And the fucking cops came up. You hear them talking, oh, he's ready, and they're kicking, and they're putting them in handcuffs and taking. They toted the whole fucking group away. Cops laughing their ass off, never saw me.
In the collapsed tent.
In the collapsed tent. And so they made sure the fire was out, or tried to. They didn't do a very good job of that. But they leave. They took them all off, and they get in the fucking 2 or 3 cop cars, and off they go back to Natchez, Mississippi. So I'm laying there, and I'm like, my spidey sense is telling me, don't, just be still. Sure enough, here come the people that ratted them out. Ratted them out. These people, they want to have a church service, they got their kids with them.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of crazy yobs saying, that fucking shit, that's the best fucking glue I ever seen. So they come up and they make sure the fire's out, and they poke around, and the tent had collapsed, but there was still one thing, and they knocked it down, and they said, okay, and they all went back down to their little area. And I laid there for about 4 hours.
Oh shit!
Until I thought everybody was asleep, and I got up, slipped down the road, and I ran on out. Got back to Highway 98, 2 lanes. Now it's 2 o'clock in the morning now. Yeah, I'm going on. I'm just walking. I'm just getting the fuck away from that. Walking. I must have walked 2 or 3 miles, and a fucking cop came along and picked me up. Said, "You need a ride? I'll give you a ride to the county line."
You know what that means? I'll give you a ride. Get you out of my fucking county.
What it meant was, get the fuck out of here. And that's one of the strangest hitchhiking, and amongst a lot of strange stories. That was strange.
For
How
sure.
fast that went from a bunch of hippies. We're gonna sing Kumbaya. I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna tell them what summer of love was like. You know, I'm gonna tell them all this shit, and because they're younger than me, and they gone. It's like, man, that's being a hippie on fast forward. You know?
Yeah, no shit.
Like, why'd you bring the hot dogs? Y'all ain't eating nothing. God damn.
That's for the bag. Those for the bag.
Pretty good look. Yeah.
That's some funny shit, man. Yeah. I trip out. So the thing is, though, that now here we are in 2022, and us growing up in the 90s, well, you in the 40s, 50s, who knows?
Sure.
We've been robbed of the
Man is
opportunity.
78 years old. Okay.
We've been robbed of the opportunity to go out there, have a nice little hitchhike. It's illegal now. It's against the law. It's like,
Dangerous.
This is what.
That's why anybody pick me up. I don't want to fucking know it now, Jack.
I hear you, but that's the thing is that at a certain point, where does safety, like, I know put it this way: if you don't want to hitchhike, don't hitchhike. If you want to raise your children to not hitchhike, you raise them that way. If you want your community and friends and people that you love, you teach them that way, and then we all agree on that. But a government mandate saying you cannot, if I want to take my life into my own hands, let me do it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like some people say the Darwin Awards, you want to get rid of the people who you don't like, let them ride without their helmets, let them smoke their cigarettes in the bar, and because
Let them not wear the mask.
let them not wear the mask,
Yeah.
and then when these motherfuckers
Breathe deep.
Because the thing is, it seems like a hateful sentiment already. So they just let them do their thing, leave them to their devices, and just that's what I think. Because if I go into a room, right, and there's a bunch of people being careless, not caring about nothing, and yada yada, being dangerous, and if I don't like it,
SAG meeting, you mean?
that's what they call them nowadays. Yeah, I would just walk out. I wouldn't say, hey, somebody come shut them down because I don't agree with what they're doing. Just if that's what they want to do, cool. Me and my people, we don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what tolerance really is? I'm not gonna.
It's a fine line. Because, they're having a good time, they're doing their own thing until you find out that they are, I don't know, burning crosses. I don't know what it would take to be I don't know.
Some
you
bad-
find out they're up to some shit, up to some villainy, and then
It's gonna outwardly come towards other people.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
No, agreed,
Yeah.
100%.
You find out it's Ku Klux Klan, the neo-Nazis. It's some of those cats, and
Right.
okay.
Who are willing to do violence and try to cover their hand when they do it.
Yeah, and they want to do it to somebody else. Yeah.
So MC Gainey, you mentioned you actually come from Alabama,
I was born in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Okay.
so I'm sorry.
Not as fancy. Alabama's a lot fancier than Mississippi, believe me.
But I'm sure you've seen some shit with the Ku Klux Klan. Anything that you ran into
Good point, man.
in that era?
You know what? I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say you know better than us, man. Yeah.
I do, yeah. 1962, I heard my first Bob Dylan album at a summer camp. I was 14 years old.
Okay.
And
Around the same time that he was measuring his dick, around that same age?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't measuring my dick,
Yeah.
but I was moved by Bob Dylan, and I went and got a guitar and started playing folk music.
Okay.
I think I might have played some for you one day.
Yeah, you
or
did,
at least
man.
I didn't play it because I didn't have a guitar.
No,
but yeah,
we played. Go ahead.
Did we play it? Yeah.
We played a song.
We did.
Yeah.
We sang a song, and that led me down a road of voter registration and marching and believing that it was a terrible thing to try to do anything to anybody to hurt them
Sure.
or to prevent them from being a human being.
Sure.
And so anyway, yeah, I've seen, but more than anything I ever did, I just did what I thought I could do. I witnessed some ugly shit, yeah. I witnessed the sheriff of Philadelphia, Mississippi, Neshoba County. There were 3 civil rights workers that were missing for a number of days in 1960, I believe it was 64, might have been 65. And the whole world began to look because these kids had been in jail, and then they just dropped off.
Gone.
Yeah, gone eventually, right? So people looking. So ordinarily, when something like that happens, the local sheriff's department will sign an affidavit and allow the FBI to come in.
Okay.
But when they did the crime, they were a little reluctant to do that, so nobody would sign the affidavit.
Got it.
So a friend of mine, a guy, a wonderful hero for me, a guy named Buford Posey, not Buford Pusser, who's the sheriff in Walking Tall. Buford Posey, you never heard of, but he's a man from Philadelphia, Mississippi, who went up north and worked in the union thing and was radicalized. He came back. He signed that affidavit and allowed the FBI to come in the case.
Okay.
And they, short order, they found 3 bodies buried under a rope here, huh?
All right.
Why do I keep going back down?
I don't know.
Don't mention that. That's horrible. No.
Yeah.
This has been some wild shit, man.
Thank you for coming through, MC.
Dude,
Absolutely.
I'm so happy I could be here. I feel much better. It was therapeutic.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Anytime, man. Come on through.
Let's get our dicks out and go to 7-Eleven and fuck somebody
Let's go.
up.
You ready to go, DB?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I
All
got
right.
dick in
peace.
one hand, gun in the other. Look out, baby.
Hey,
Here we
once
go.
again, you're here with the Nela fellas. This is the Under the Street Lamp podcast. This is DB Cooper to my right, and this is Mr. MC Gainey. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. All right.